Hi Kiwi, and welcome back to another episode of Hades 1. This is our mirror setup for the day. Today we are going to be continuing our 32 heat challenge with the aspect of Hades on the spear. This is one of the weapons that I've probably used the least next to the sword. I'm going to be taking our companion Shady, of course, and I'm going to go with Adamant Arrowhead, and we're going to try and get crits on our charge spin, which should see some pretty big numbers. We're going to take 1 level of hard labor, 1 level of lasting consequence, max out convenience fee, jury summons, 3 levels of extreme measures, maxing out benefits package, middle management, underworld customs, forced overtime, hide and security, and 2 levels of tight deadline for a total of 32 heat.
Is sealed.
So I'm hoping for a decent Artemis attack, and then we'll probably go a Heartrend build, of course. Alternatively, Chain Skewer is always fun. Right. So I mean, we had a really crazy run with that.
To make it out of there, my boons are just about the only way to go.
Building around her special a while back. So, all right, we'll just go straight for that attack since we got that offered. So one thing that I've learned with the spear that I was kind of practicing off camera is if you do your charge spin and then dash, you cancel the charge and immediately let out the attack. So that's probably the biggest optimization that made the Hades spear a lot more fun to play for me. And honestly, I did a couple practice runs on a separate file just to kind of get a sense of how to play it, because it's, again, one of my least used aspect weapons by a country mile. It's basically like, I think I've played Guan Yu more than I've played the aspect of Zagreus and Hades, and certainly Achilles is its own beast because it's just insanely strong. So I might actually have to try this on Achilles, like go into a charge spin build that's been enhanced by the Achilles passive. All right, we're gonna go straight for this Chaos Gate. I'll take that hit, but hopefully we're looking for boon rarity, we're looking for attack damage, of course. Those would be our 2 ideals. All right, let's see what we get. Dash strike, not bad. HP or unstruck. Let's see what else we can get. There it is. Okay, boon rarity. I'll definitely take that, although the chamber preview being hidden is pretty rough, so I'll deal with it though. Honestly, once we have Artemis, as long as we see Aphrodite at some point in this run, and Athena could be preferable just for safety, I think I'm fine. The main thing is, I still don't have a lot of damage on the attack, so we'll definitely need some things to help scale it up. But I have to say, this charge into dash mechanic is surprisingly satisfying to pull off once I get good at it. And so yeah, I did like a run off camera just to kind of practice the mechanics. I practiced on Skelly a little bit too, but overall it feels fairly okay. I don't know here. Chain Skewer, I love Chain Skewer. Extending jab would probably be better for us. Vicious Skewer isn't terrible either since we're going a crit build, but now let's go Chain Skewer. It's just so much fun for me. I'm thinking maybe I could get like an Ares special, or I could go for the Artemis special. All right, we're getting Poseidon.
Found you down there, nephew. Now let's overwhelm your enemies in a typhoon of godly might. What do you say? Not
my favorite god to see for the build I'm kind of aiming for. I think I'll just take his cast for now. We can always sell it later with for Underworld Customs, I guess. Hydraulic Might's not a bad pickup, and certainly Mirage Shot is good on paper, but probably not for the build I'm planning around. Do I buy the Palm? Charon says save my money, so thanks, Charon. Do a little dance for him there. Alright, some mini bosses. Watch this. I'm able to AoE all of them, and it feels surprisingly satisfying. Now, just so you know, Kiwi, the aspect of Hades, its passive effect is that it does, it places a mark over the enemy's heads, and all those enemies that are marked take an increased, I think, 75% damage. It might be. Actually, I think it's the same as Achilles. It's 150% more damage from the attack and the special. Oh, hey, Ares. All right.
I must say you deal death rather exquisitely, though perhaps I could be of some further assistance in such matters, yes?
I could take your special here. It's fun with Chain Skewer. Did not get it, so I think I'll take Battle Rage. Battle Rage gives us a whole lot of extra damage on the attack, actually. That'll scale really well with Artemis's attack here. I don't even...
Well, here goes nothing.
I don't even know what I'm going for here, but let's do it.
The curse of chaos has been lifted.
And now Chaos's curse is lifted, so we'll be able to see our chambers again. Kind of crazy. I think we needed 5 entire chambers for that. All right. I will say the laser stones are, what are they called? Brimstones are a little bit tricky to deal with. Fun fact also that I realized with my practice runs, your charge spin actually hits over walls. It's one of the few attacks on the spear, or the sword for that matter, that you can hit enemies through walls with. A lot of things, even melee weapons, if they extend past a wall, the wall acts as a barrier that doesn't hit them. Okay, Chain Skewer is actually really satisfying to use here. Look at that. Whoa, bam. Okay. Nice extra 50 HP. Yeah, I'll take the rerolls here. More chances to roll for things we want. We've got 3 gods now, so hopefully our final god can be Aphrodite, but at this point, I'll probably just take whatever I get. Heartrend is the ideal, but I can manage with whatever I get, I think. Anyway, what was I gonna say? So, I was explaining Hades' Spirit. Basically, your charge spin, no matter how much it's charged, applies the same mark to enemies, causing them to take, I believe, an 150% increased damage from attack and special, which will scale really well with our crits from Artemis, plus the boon we just got from Ares, which makes it so that when we kill an enemy, the next attack or special we do has an increased damage by 150%, which is incredible for this kind of a build, especially if we can stack some crit chance. I'll probably take the coin, but nah, time error. I'm running out of time. I'd rather be more careful with tight deadline. Get another reroll here. Again, I'm feeling like Ares special might be a decent option here, although of course if we're going for Heartrend,
You're nothing.
I guess I could take Passion Dash. I'm not really a big fan of Passion Dash because it requires you to dash near enemies, and when I'm using a weapon that isn't the sword or the gauntlets, it's just too risky. It puts me next to enemies that I'd rather keep a distance from. The spear has a lot of range. These ringers are, oh my god, leave me alone. These ringers are chasing me just too fast, so honestly I might just depend on my special here, because every time I get tagged by a ringer, I'm held in place, and I'm just going to take more damage. At least my special is two-shotting the witches, but I don't like this room, Kiwi. I'm not enjoying this room. I'm taking a lot of damage. Aye. Anyway, I guess let me try and find something to talk about. I guess there's an anime I want to talk about from this season, so I'm going to ramble about that a little bit, because it's the first anime in a long time I chose to drop, not because it was boring slog, but because the episode actually made me feel really uncomfortable to the point of I wanted to drop it. And not the typical level of discomfort that you get from anime, where it's a matter of, like, they did something really creepy, like things of slavery, or how to phrase this, the not grape flavored drink.
He's back again, Baldy. Got just the thing for you here, Prince.
I don't know how I'm trying to phrase that. Whatever. The point is, like, those really, like, iffy topics that seem to pop up in anime more than I'd be
You're a good friend, Baldy. I'm glad you're here.
strictly comfortable having show up.
A pleasure.
So long.
No, this was just like it hit a little too close to home, maybe is the best way to explain it. All right, I think I'll probably buy the Ares boon here, yeah.
I'll pay for
Oh, and
that.
there's a really nice special, actually. You know what? On Chain Screw, that sounds great. Go for it. All right, thanks, Ares. We're making decent time. I should be able to kill Meg pretty quickly here, especially with that high-level Doom.
It's him. Prepare yourself, sister.
All right, focusing back on the anime. So I forget what this was called. I think it was called like Skipping My Princess Lessons or something about that. Basically, it's for context, it's airing in the season the winter season of anime 2025. For if we ever end up watching this down the road, I don't remember the exact name, but basically the premise is the main character is a girl who's attracted the interest and affections of the crown prince of this region, I want to say, or something of that nature, like, you know, a high-ranking noble, pretty sure the prince. And he elects her to be his future wife and the future queen of her nation. And so, of course,
That was...
if she is going to be in that position,
Strictly business.
she needs to be taught how to act in a regal manner and maintain that air of nobility. Let's see, what do I take here? Athena, I don't know, do I take Aphrodite for Heartrend or do I take Athena for safety? I'm feeling safety, but Heartrend is more fun. I'm not sold on which one I want to take here. Eeny, meeny, miny. This one. All right, we're going Heartrend. We're gonna get the damage. I feel confident enough. I practice enough. I feel good about my dash canceling of the charge spin. I can do this. I can win this without Athena's help. Worst case scenario, we just take Athena in Elysium, and we go 5 God on this run. Anyway, so basically the basic premise is she's been selected by the Crown Prince to become the future queen and his wife. And this is definitely like an arranged marriage sort of thing. She is of nobility herself, but kind of like the daughter to a baron sort of thing. So a low-ranking noble. So she doesn't necessarily have a lot of say in the matter. And her parents are very happy about this, of course, because as a low-ranking kind of rural barony, their lands could stand to benefit from, you know, the support of the kingdom, of course. So the first episode is all about
Coin from the dead.
this girl starting her princess training, is basically what it's called, I think. And she is indoctrinated probably isn't the right word, but it feels like it almost is. Oh, hey,
Here he
Than.
comes.
I am here.
Yes, you are.
Hope you don't mind if I cut in here, Zagreus.
Please cut as many things as you want, as long as it's not me.
They're coming,
Anyway,
Zagreus. Be on guard.
So
Right on it, Dan.
so she begins her training with this kind of very the prototypical like intense, very rigid trainer or like educator trope that you see I see in anime, but certainly you see it in other media as well. I feel like it's a fairly common trope overall. With my limited purview of treating of education, like the sort of person who's like calls you out for every single mistake or glitch in the system that you make, every time you show any sort of like independent thought or anything that goes around the status quo that she is trying to teach you, you need to maintain. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of damage I just took. I guess this is the one downside about. Let me keep my focus on the game for a second. I need to try and not die here if I can. There we go. Okay. Whew, a little sketchy there. Probably better on the attack, but I could make an argument for Curse of Pain too, honestly. But yeah, let's keep it going on the attack for now. The attack is more fun. Hermes or shop here. Let's go Hermes. Anyway, we're hoping for a rush delivery, of course, just for that extra damage. Gotta love it. Anyway, let's see. So she is like, this is the sort of person who is like that classic like old grandmotherly sort of heir. Who that grandmotherly sort of position in terms of, I guess, age and interaction, but not the warm, kind grandmother. The very strict, this is how you need to be raised, and going against my will is an affront to me and your people, your future people. And so like there is a degree of corporal punishment where if the girl messes up, she seems exhausted. No, you can't do that. You have to stand up tall.
All right, Kurtz, express delivery to where in blazes are you right now? Anyway, take one of these and go about your business.
Definitely in blazes right now, Hermes, oh my goodness. Greatest reflex we will gladly take, and a fish for good luck.
Save you from the magma fishes.
We'll save them all! What in blazes? These fishes are in blazes. Alright, I'm gonna stop running with that bad joke.
You're mine.
Anyway, so, okay,
Victory.
focusing again. So, basically, okay, there's Aphrodite or a high-tier Artemis. Artemis could get pressure points, or Hunter's Mark. Aphrodite sets us up for Heart Run, which is so good. But I think I want,
Moving right along.
honestly, I think I want to crit more than I want to Heart Run. I want to have more crit chance than I want to Heart Run just yet. And we'll probably see Aphrodite again if we're lucky. And I don't need a high-tier boon from her just yet. I just need a core boon to unlock access to,
Boldy. Ahoy.
darn it, I missed. I need any core boon of Aphrodite at this point just to unlock the ability to get Heart Run, and then I can worry about high tier boons after the fact. So a lower tier boon on Aphrodite isn't the worst thing right now. Artemis, though, there are a lot of things, especially Hunter's Mark, I think would be amazing with Chain Skewer plus pressure points if I can make it happen. That said, Mega Gorgon Skull Crusher is one of my least favorite encounters in this game. I seem to be very prone to taking a lot of damage from them. That said, canceling my charge spin seems to work fairly well, and I've gotten more used to their pattern. Not always. I definitely make some mistakes here or there, but I'm getting more consistent with them at the very least. Okay, charge spin there felt fancy, but it did not pay off. I definitely got hit there, so we're just gonna do the single dash out, dash in technique, and that
In the name of Hades.
tends to deal with them fairly well. All right, ooh, there's the Hunter's Mark I wanted. Awesome. Okay, so now we can be crit stacking on a lot of things. Erebus Gate with Hermes is kind of appealing. I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna try. Here we go. All right, so basically, the point is this girl is undergoing
Remember not to get too nervous, boy.
very rigid and almost emotionless training to become the future regent of this nation. And in the process of doing so, you just see her progressively lose the shine and the smile. That she was a very like bright and bubbly character, like the classic phrase that I see in anime is Genki girl, I would say, like very energetic, very happy. And as the episode goes on, as she continues this training, losing everything that made her who she was effectively, at the behest of this person who's like, this is not queenly behavior. You either do it the right way or we do it over and over again until you get it right, sort of thing, with no room for rest. Even meals, even her time alone, even her meals are judged pretty much.
Fine, keep your trinket then.
There we go.
Ooh, greater evasion, or I could go for auto. Ooh, swift. These are all some degree of appealing. I mean, I have greatest reflex. I could set up for bad news. It's either reroll or bad or auto reload, I think here.
Any other blessings, maybe?
Let's see, hypersprint. There we go. Okay, so there's a chance we could get rush delivery on the next in Styx if we get a third Hermes, which I'm hopeful for. But honestly, hypersprint plus greater reflex, not bad, or greatest reflex rather. I mean, there are some nice things to hit with Ambrosia Delight here, but I'd probably stick with Refreshing Nectar. Let me see. I have 1 and 2. Both my attack and my special would be nice to hit. Battle Rage isn't bad, and Hunter's Mark certainly isn't bad. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to skip her. I do think I'm probably gonna go Refreshing Nectar. I mean, Ambrosia Delight is so much fun, but I don't know. What do I stand to gain from this? Probably Heartrend. I'm not even set up to get Heartrend though. I don't know. Let's go Ambrosia Delight. More fun that way. Hunter's Mark and special. Awesome. Okay.
Better already.
Not a bad roll for us. Okay. That'll give us some nice crit chance and some pretty decent damage on the special, which gives me a chance, an ability to kite Impending Doom.
I'll take this one.
Not really. Either Blood Frenzy or Urge to Kill here would make sense. I'll take Urge to Kill. It's epic, so if I have to sell, I get something good out of it. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep. I think I'll just. We have enough palm levels on the attack now, so I'll probably put the rest of the palms on other things, unless they're not. I'm not offered good options, but I think
Right, Lenny, let's have it out
that should
between us
work.
then.
For now, our attack is gonna do some nice damage, especially if we get some Battle Rage procs or activations going. Battle Rage again being the. I always mix it up with Urge to Kill. Urge to Kill just gives us flat increased damage. Battle Rage is contextual. It's significantly more damage, but only for one attack following a kill. Getting to like just freely charge up my attack, critting for 400. Not the most amazing crit numbers yet, but pretty solid all around, all things considered. And again, my special makes for a very good kind of safety tool if I don't want to be near enemies. I can just spam special. May have to drop a Boldy here just to heal. We'll see. Things are looking a little questionable in terms of overall HP, but I can survive 2 hits from learning at the very least. Anyway, so the point is, oh gosh, oh don't hit me please. The point I'm trying to make is you see this very bright and bubbly girl go from that to this very dull, sad, very muted girl who is extremely polite and interacting with her peers, but it almost feels fake. It feels like the most like. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna Boldy here. I need some HP. I don't care who it hits, I just want the HP. If I can save this Death Defiance, I would love to do so. Honestly, Chance Cure here, pretty nice. Gonna bounce to every enemy and just pop them. Okay. I know Chain Skewer overall probably isn't the most amazing hammer on the spear, but it's objectively one of my favorite. It's just so much fun to get a build around it going. And I found with the Chaos Shield and Chiron that using Ares special just feels kind of good on these big AoE moves, because Doom can do a ton of damage if you get it stacked up enough between Impending Doom, Dire Misfortune, and its base damage on the boon you've got it from. All right, we've got this Hydra head. Okay, I'm just missing everything. That is kind of awkward. All right, not the cleanest kill, but we didn't lose a Death Defiance, which is what matters most. And will I finish my thought? That's the question now.
Lovely chatting with you, Lernie dear.
In theory, I have a chance to do so now. But we'll wait for Hades to say, oh, you did it again. You've cleared my Hydra. He had a family. Or he's not going to say anything? Okay, he's not going to say anything. Fair enough. Keepsake. Keepsake. We did not actually get an Aphrodite boon, did we? So I guess I just keep Aphrodite's Keepsake, I guess? Or do I now choose Athena, since we didn't get Aphrodite anyway? I probably stick with it. All right, let's see. Light of Ixion, tempting, but I don't have that much coin and I'd rather buy a boon to purge. Like I said before, Urge to Kill, if I part ways here, 160 coin, kind of worth it. I do think with that amount of money though, now I should easily reach a core boon. I'm thinking about Athena. I really am thinking. No, I'm sticking with it. I'm sticking with it. We're gonna go for Heartrend. I don't need safety nets here. That's why I'm taking the Light of Ixion. It may give me a curse that really hurts, but I can make it work. I can make it work. I think. Anyway, okay, focusing along. Let's see, what do we have as an alternative? Hammer is appealing, but I'm gonna go for the Chaos Gate. We will see another hammer soon enough, I assume, I hope, I pray. I guess Quick Spin would probably be the best, or Massive Spin. Massive Spin would be really fun. Or Boon Rarity. I'm gonna reroll this, and we need attack damage. Dash Strike, HP, Boon Rarity. Just not getting, oh my goodness, he's offered us like the same rewards all 3 times. That's really frustrating. So do I want the HP or do I want the Boon Rarity? At this point, honestly, I think I'll take the HP because I do not like the notion of chambers being hidden in Elysium. Aphrodite or Poseidon here. I could go for a Palm and try to stack it on the special too, but I think Heartrend is probably our best option, so let's go that route. All right, let's see. So let's see, can I, honestly, Great Shields are kind of annoying because I can't easily hit them with the spear, or my spin charge for that matter, because it doesn't pierce, I think. Yeah, it doesn't pierce. Okay. Oh well, we'll make it work. I can kite them around. I will probably lose a Jet Defiance in Elysium if I get a lot of Shielder. I'm for some reason, Shielders in my brain do not get along well with each other. At least I can use the trap to my advantage, and my special kind of takes out these little fake clones pretty easily. Let's position over here and have a little bit of an easier time, maybe. Anyway, let's focus. Let's see. So, all right. So the moral, the reason why I want to bring this anime up in the first place is just that whole scene of this girl losing her. It almost seems like losing her will to live. It's kind of like the most intense mask you could see on this girl. This bright and bubbly girl going from, like, I call it a mask, but it's more like a damn cloth over the face, like just completely dampening her entire way of wanting to live. She wants to be out in the countryside, hunting and having picnics in the grass and things like that, and those are just not queenly sort of things to do. And you feel bad. It just feels really bad, like uncomfortably bad, because I feel like to a lesser extent, certainly not as extreme as what they show in this anime, but I have felt that. I have felt that notion of everything that I want to control, like my control over my life has been completely removed from me.
Well, look at you there, love. So well prepared to take on any danger that may come. But I must wonder, are you well prepared for this?
And, all right, let's see. Do I take Crush Shot for Heartrend? I'd rather have her dash, honestly. It's easier to apply. Because Heartrend only works on enemies that have had weakness applied to them, it's just a lot easier to get Passion Dash applying it, although that still requires me to dash into them, but I mean, what's my other option? Crush Shot? I don't want to be, that requires me to be even closer, frankly, because at least with dashes I can get out of the way, and with Greatest Reflex I can dash in and dash out shortly thereafter. Crush Shot locks me in place for a second. It just seems like a bad choice, so how well I benefit from Heartrend with this current build is questionable, let's be honest, but we'll make it work. Ooh, that was more damage than I meant to take. Again, Chain Skewer, though, doing work for me. These Dooms are just bouncing around and killing everything. But anyway, focusing. So yeah, it was like painfully relatable, just the notion of having no control over my life, having everything that I want to do taken away from me, and that's what grad school is like, right, Kiwi? Let's not bring up too bad a memory here, but that's the point. It was a really rough thing to watch and re-experience, and I mean, credit to the anime where it's due. It's a genuine feeling that it triggered in me, and I kind of am happy for it. Like, I don't think I've had an enemy that's triggered that sort of discomfort. I don't know if despair is the right word, but it's something adjacent to it almost. And for what it's worth,
my weapon's hidden talents.
See, ooh, these are tempting. Quick Spin or probably Quick Spin. Flaring Spin doesn't seem good at all. Alternatively, though, Breaching Skewer doing 400% more damage to armor. We're already spamming our special a lot. Honestly, I think I'm going to take that, because we have pretty decent damage on our attack. Unfortunately, can't afford that Death Defiance. Hopefully we get a Petroculus room, and no Infernal Trove to give us the money we need. So, I'll take the Poseidon room, honestly. Not a whole lot that I want from Poseidon, but I guess his dash would be decent, would help us with sticks a little bit.
It has been long enough since my last fight.
Honestly, I'll probably just take his cast again if I get offered it. We'll see. Anyway, Hydraulic Might would be a decent option too, I suppose. I don't know. I like his cast. Like, his cast doesn't feel that amazing, but it's satisfying to just have that big AoE splash everything away. Man, I cannot keep my thoughts on one thing for more than a couple minutes, right, Kiwi? Thank you for tolerating this. Anyway, let's see. So, ultimately, what I want to say here is, it was, okay, dropping a boldy. I am taking a lot of damage, unfortunately. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that it triggered some memories in me, some rough memories. And on the bright side, I suppose, if there is one, I am no longer in that point even remotely, or at that point even remotely. And then in the anime, by the end of the first episode, her situation improves as well. Basically, in typical fashion, the prince is like, oh, this girl is not the girl I fell in love with. She's lost all her emotion. She seems so not herself. This isn't the girl I fell in love with. So he's like, I'm calling off, or he doesn't outright say I'm calling off the marriage, but he shows up at like this big I think it's his coronation party to announce his marriage. And he says, I'm sorry, I'm calling off our wedding. Here's this other girl who I am now dating or whatever. Or now I've chosen, and the girl, the main character, is just like, this is the most amazing thing ever. Oh my goodness, I have 2 HP left. Sketchy. I can do this though, I can do this, and if not, at least Patroclus is there potentially to help us. Or a Death Defiance from the shop, maybe. Almost got him. I think I'm just gonna have to depend on my special, but nope.
Well done.
I saw the chance for a quick spin and I went for it. Remember, just like Guan Yu, charge the spin when they're loading in. Not that he was loading in, he was charging an attack. All right, ooh, Poseidon's Aid. Okay, a high tier Poseidon's Aid feels really good here. Is there anything I would duo that with? I don't think so. But let me check. Let's see, Storm. Curse of Drowning is terrible. In my opinion. No, I don't really have many in the way of duos that I want here, so I think, honestly, I will very gladly take Poseidon's Aid. I foresee that being very beneficial for our overall survival. It's basically Athena's call, but better. It gives you invulnerability, and it grants you a whole lot of survivability. Or what am I saying? It grants you a whole lot of survivability, and then on top of that, it does a lot of damage. It does a lot of damage, especially if you get Greater Call, but basically it lets you trivialize a whole lot of things. I love Poseidon's Call. Let's see. What else? Anyway, so the point oh shoot, there goes our next Death Defiance. Only got one left. Anyway, the point I wanted to make was that, or what I was trying to say was basically, like, she goes to this party, she finds out that the prince is seemingly no longer interested in marrying her, probably because of what her lessons has done to her. And her solution, or her response to this, is rather very anime, I think is the best way to describe it. She pops off so hard, just screams, maybe rips her dress, basically, doesn't literally, but basically flips off everyone in that like courtroom, or that royal courtroom, and is just like, I am free to be me again. And like all of that bottled up emotion that you saw her having to hide and pretend wasn't allowed to exist, is just let out at once. She wants to go back to being this country bumpkin kind of daughter to a baron who can go out for picnics in the grass and eat whatever she wants and climb trees and hunt, none of which she was allowed to do during her lessons. And it feels good. It does feel pretty decent. It's a nice payoff there. Trial. I'm tight deadline's a little tight here. I don't know. I don't know if I should. I kind of want to, but I think I'm gonna play it safe and take the HP here. And so what I will say is, like, that first episode was surprisingly poignant to me. Like, it was rough to watch, and I'm happy that I felt the way I did, because not a lot of things that I watch make me feel that kind of like uncomfortable vibe. Do I recommend that anime? No. After the first episode, I basically lost interest in it. It fell off pretty hard for me, because now the girl is just back to her Genki girl self, very energetic, very whatever she is, and the prince comes back and it's like, so the wedding was never actually called off, and kind of is a bit of a creep in typical prince fashion. That seems to be the case for these sorts of entitled prince wants to marry the main character girl. Although I will say he is less creepy than a lot of the other typical fare, I would say, at least based on I think I watched like 2 or 3 episodes altogether, probably only 2 or 3. So it may go back to that and may be good, but for what it's worth, like, this is one of those shows where I feel like the first episode had a pretty large impact on me, and to its credit, it did that. I think that's worth saying. But with all that said, I don't know if I have much more to say about it. Like, I think the thing that really like kind of turned me off from the anime was after the first episode, when the main character is more herself, she starts having these little soliloquies where the time basically kind of pauses, and she's just breaking the fourth wall, talking directly to the viewers. I think if I recall, she did that, and it just felt really weird. Like the directing on it just felt really off, and so I kind of just progressively lost interest. I also have to say, like, I felt super confident about the Hades Spear. I felt really good about learning how to use my canceled charge spin to like make 32 heat work on the spear. I am acknowledging the fact that I am hardcore depending on my special and chains, or my chain skewer special with Ares and Poseidon's Dash especially right now to keep myself alive. I really do hope we see a Patroclus room because I'm hurting for some help. Like, I feel like against single targets maybe I'll be decent. We'll have to see how the Hades fights go for me to really decide is this going well, but we are almost down a third Death Defiance and it does not feel promising. There's Heartrend, okay. Yeah, definitely nothing else I want there. Heartrend and then another Artemis, okay. Yeah, we could really stand to use a Patroclus room here. Oh, hello, Mirage Shot. Okay, duo into duo. Mirage Shot is legitimately useless for this build, and I think this is the end shop. So no Patroclus. This is looking a little dicey. I take the Artemis here, yeah. Nothing here I really want. Hunter Instinct. Actually, you know what? Hunter Instinct wouldn't be a bad choice with my Poseidon Boon. Do I reroll here for something else? I forget if we have pressure points or not. I'll just take the cast to sell, I guess. I don't know. I feel like I don't know if Hunter's Instinct is good or not. I have mixed opinions.
You face the champion and me. Ready yourself.
Because I don't crit that often enough to really like get the benefit from it. So it's hard for me to say. I feel like, at least with the cast, I get a second means of trying to trigger a trick to activate Hunter's Mark, which would be good. And it basically guarantees my cast will never miss because it homes. So I think, I don't know, maybe Hunter's Instinct was the better option there, but I don't think it's a terribly like super incredible option. I guess more God Gauge would be cool. Maybe I'll take it if it's offered again. I don't know. I guess at this point, what am I saving my rerolls for? Probably Impending Doom off of Ares, if anything. More damage on my Doom proc sounds like it's pretty solid. Anyway, I guess, is there anything else left to say about, again, I forgive me for not remembering the name of the anime. Again, like, I dropped it fairly quickly. I think it's like, again, maybe skipping. Oh wait, that was a nasty hit I just took from Theseus. Oh my goodness, Bull. We were just doing circles together there. That was something that just happened, I guess. No, it's like, I don't know. Skipping my princess lessons, or I don't know. It's something like that. If you check the March, or not December either. I guess it would be December, right? The winter lineup for 2025. You'll see what it is. Something about princess lessons, I think. It's one of those rare occasions where the first episode is probably the only thing that really stood out to me. There was another one that I could mention, but I'm completely skipping the name. It was based on a pixel art adventure game. I don't remember. I couldn't tell you. I just remember being like, wow, this first episode went so hard and I'm so into this, and I started recommending it to this rando that I met at a friend's birthday party, and then immediately thereafter I watched the second episode and I'm like, oh wow, the quality declined very hard. I hate when that happens. Like, you get this really incredible pilot, and the payoff is not there at the end of the day, and it feels really disappointing that you could get your hopes up to see something. I guess that's probably better because you have a quicker out than those situations where you find a show that feels incredible and then just completely flubs the ending. Oof. Oh no, we're out of Death Defiances. This is not ideal. Like, thankfully my experience with those sort of shows is few and far between, but this is looking very dicey, Kiwi. I don't know how I'm pulling out a win here, but it's going to be very sketchy. Alright, I guess this is one other reason why Artemis's cast is pretty decent here, and that's because it does pierce, so I can use it to hit Achilles, whether I am aiming. Well, okay, if I throw it into a wall, it's not going to do anything, but whatever. Alright, Kiwi, this run is looking really dicey. Tight deadline is counting down our damage, isn't incredible. and I have no Death Defiances.
Got them again, my shade.
I'm not promising a miracle here,
Be seeing all of you next time, all right?
but I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna try my best. Maybe do I pull the last minute Athena?
Finest of Elysium
No, I
will
probably
fail
take
to fall
Acorn.
away.
Acorn for safety like usual, maybe? I don't know. What are we selling here? True Shot, yeah, easy to purge True Shot here. I don't really need it for anything, and I'm not looking for any duos at this point. All right, let's go ahead and probably take Acorn, yeah. I think Acorn's my best defensive option, and I say it a number of times. Acorn makes it so... Honestly, it blocks more damage than the HP we restore with the 100 HP from Skelly's Lost Tooth. So I think overall, except in Extreme Measures 4 where you get a Butterfly Ball, which can just eat your entire Acorn in like a couple hits that would have only done like 1 or 2 damage, generally speaking, Acorn is the better choice. Extreme Measures 4 just makes everything harder, let's be honest. Acorn's benefits. Ooh, okay, this Ares room could give us the Impending Doom that we're looking for, assuming we don't already have it, which I'm pretty sure we do not, but I could be wrong. Alternatively, Curse of Longing, now that I think about it, Curse of Longing would work pretty well for this build. We have Passion Dash, so we could make that happen. The main issue is without, what is it, not Sweet Surrender, Weak Inside? Empty Inside. Without Empty Inside, we're not going to be able to have our weak curse lasting very long, so we won't benefit as much from Heartrend or from Curse of Longing as I would like. So if I forget if we saw an Aphrodite in the previous chamber, but an Aphrodite giving us weak inside would be very beneficial to this, assuming we get either of the, we already have Heartrend, I guess, so assuming we get Curse of Longing, Empty Inside would be beneficial for both situations, but realistically speaking, I am going to be constantly dashing away from Hades, so in theory I'll be constantly applying Curse of Longing, or Weak, so maybe it'll work either way. I don't know.
It's no use.
I feel like it's a little sketchy, but Weak does last for 4 seconds. Ugh, Giant Snake Stone. I hate Giant Snake Stone. I don't know why. Like, in theory, you can position very easily to get out of its range, but it's not a fun enemy, because like, if it gets its beam trained on you and you're not out of the way, you take a ton of damage. I'm just gonna have to constantly kite behind this wall. But the downside is it spawns satyrs, so I don't really get to do that for very long. One more Poseidon call will probably kill this thing though. So if I can get it low enough, I don't think I can hit it with Poseidon's call with where it's standing. Oh man, satyr poison, man, satyr poison. All right, I think I kill this and then I just Poseidon call this guy. Nope, never mind, it's just dead. There we go. All right, Ares Impending Doom.
Must be fashioning those things.
Curse of Longing. Okay, that's really good for us. That's really good for us. That'll help a lot. And we do have 2 Aphrodites in the shop, actually, so I could, in theory, maybe see Empty Inside. If she offers something more appealing, I'll have to consider that instead, but I mean, realistically speaking, Sweet Surrender would be objectively better because it's just a flat damage increase. Empty Inside just synergizes with our build better, I think, but it overall does not offer much that we want other than that. So certainly there are potentially better options, not that I think I can think of any off the top of my head at this point. Even Crush Shot, I guess, for a second way to apply weak isn't the worst thing, but I really would prefer not using it if I don't have to. I will say, though, I am kind of enjoying, I really am enjoying this. Like, despite it not going well, it feels great to charge up that quick spin. Ooh, that's huge. That Death Defiance may save us the run. We'll see. We'll see. We will genuinely see. But it's really satisfying to charge up a quick spin, preferably not in melee range of something that hits me for 30, and then toss out a special and then just, in theory, have enough damage or have done enough to charge up the Poseidon Call. This feels like a jack of all trades sort of build, and it's fun to play if nothing else. I'm finding this inherently satisfying. Okay, we do not get the 2 chamber sticks, unfortunately. Our luck so far has been pretty solid in regards to that. Oh good, another satyr. And I'm immediately poisoned, what a surprise. I don't know, Kiwi. My brain does not enjoy these enemies. I got caught on the poison cure pool. I couldn't hit him with Poseidon, but ooh, as long as I keep the attack up now, it shouldn't be able to hit us anymore. Alright, I think we've got this chamber well enough. I still have 1 Boldy left. I probably save it for Hades if I can manage to. We have this, I'm just noticing, we have a ton of HP. I didn't realize. We have 266 max HP, which is nice. Probably go for the Aphrodite room, or I just go for HP. Palm would be decent on the special. I guess they're all good options. I think I'll take the Palm. More damage. This is probably our best option for damage. Anyway, I can't really think of any other examples that I can call out the top of my, pull out of the top of my head for like just disappointing first episodes that set a precedent. But I will maintain it's better to have a really good early first episode and then fall off within the first 3 episodes. There's a rule of 3 for a reason when people talk about deciding is it an anime you're gonna watch.
No use.
Definitely don't want to sell any of that. But I'd prefer that. I'd prefer a strong start to a terrible finish that happens early, rather than getting through an amazing series through and through up until the very end, and then the very last episode or last couple episodes just fall off or go so rogue from the quality that you had gotten established up until that point that it just ruins the whole experience. I feel like that is objectively worse.
Satyr sack.
All right, let's see. Yeah, I'll put that on the special. Although 70% on Hunter's Mark was pretty funny to look at for a second, but Hunter's Mark falls off a little bit against Hades.
Satyr sack coming right up.
Let's see, another special or yeah, I think special here. It's kind of carrying our damage. Wave of Despair. No, unfortunately, we didn't get any boons to increase our duration of
countenance of Cerberus agrees. The Satyr sack must be destroyed.
week. Although I'm just realizing I actually had one reroll, so I could have tried. Oh well. My brain is in this hyperactive. I have 4 minutes left on the clock to beat Hades with a weapon that I'm not the best at. So it's probably best. I don't think it would have mattered that much. Like I said, I'm probably going to be constantly dashing around him anyway. I'll quick spin into him, dash into him, and dash out. That's my thought process. Whether I can pull it off or not, we'll see.
You bypassed Cerberus again, I see. Unfortunately for the both of us.
All right, Hades, bring it on. Let's see what happens here. Charge up my quick spin, bail out. I probably honestly just focus on keeping a distance. The spear has such range, and if I depend on my chain skewer, I can probably get some good hits. Just take the charge spins when I can, and then play safe the rest of the way. I do have Acorn. That's our first hit. Okay. Doesn't look like our Doom does enough to one-shot his... Oh my goodness, I'm eating every Bloodstone he throws at me. Sheesh. Okay, so yeah, our Dooms do not do enough damage to one-shot his little Bloodstones. But if I tag them once, I should be able to kill them. Okay, I'll have to keep that in mind. Charge spin and see if I can dash out immediately. Nope. Okay, so unfortunately, the charge spin does lock me into an animation, and I don't have iframes on the dash when I use it, so I need to be mindful of that. Hunter's Mark, though, here, if I can get a Hunter's Mark on Hades and then crit him with Poseidon's Call, I'm going to do a ton of damage. I'm going to do so much damage to him. Just got to play super safe. We're out of Acorn charges. Okay, we're out of Acorn charges. I need to be careful about that. Did the thing that was respawning actually respawn? I don't know. All right, I went a little dicey there. Thankfully pulled off the Poseidon Call to block the damage. All right. Just... as long as I see what direction he's coming from, I think I can quick spin dash, or I can spin charge dash away from his attack. But if I dash towards his hit, I will, or dash in the direction that he's charging, like run parallel with him, I will get hit. I guess that's another thing I can complain about, like anime and shows that I've watched. When you're being, one second, the trope of like a large building falling on top of you, seen it a number of times in various forms of media. The classic running in the length of the building rather than perpendicular to its length to get out of it. That has always been one of my pet peeves. I have a very, like, I do not remember most of Digimon, unfortunately. Like, I think it's a great show as a kid. I know I was really into it as a kid. I do not remember next to anything about it other than, I think it was Digimon Chambers, maybe the 3rd season, having, like, the most amazing theme song ever. Of course, the original English theme song was also fantastic, and the Japanese song for, ooh, that was fancy. Bounced, I think his shield blocked it, then it bounced the Bloodstone, and then into him and finished the phase. That was really fancy. Okay. We still actually haven't taken any damage. We've had our Acorn cover our arses pretty heavily there. Hidden Security is on, so I do take 150 damage from his special if I'm not careful, but I think, honestly, we're just gonna go as hard as possible and see if I can kill him before he kills me. Okay, there's our first hit. I need to be very careful now because Boiling Blood also does a ton of damage. Lasers, so we bail out. Okay, or we bail in face first into lasers. I was trying to dash behind him, I swear. Wow, I screwed that up. That took a lot of damage. We're pulling this off. I honestly think I can beat him here, Kiwi. Just keep him tagged with my charge spin if I can, because my attack does a lot of damage to him. I'm honestly just dashing around using my dash attack feels good. Anyway, Digimon Butterfly, the original Japanese theme song to oh my goodness, I didn't pop any of those spots. Oh, this is so dicey, this is so sketchy. Yeah. Oh my goodness, I swear the hitboxes on those things are so finicky, and I dodged both of them barely without even dodging. I think I was just kind of strafing out of the way. Oh my goodness, I am eating lasers like no tomorrow, but I think we got him, Kiwi. We're so close, and Poseidon's called to win the day. Finish him off with the attack, and there we go. Oh my goodness, that was satisfying with 36 seconds left on the clock.
With your youth comes a certain strength, it seems.
Okay, I pulled this win out of nowhere. It did not feel promising.
No.
No, it did not. But there we go. All right.
See you at home.
Hades vanquished, and our 32 heat spear or Hades aspect challenge won. We're at 119 win streak. All right, let's see what won us the run. Definitely have to leave Hades aspect of Hades at the top, but let's see. I mean, Mirage Shot, what are you doing here? Breaching Skewer honestly carried a lot. Breaching Skewer with the special honestly kind of carried the run, not gonna lie. Fearsome Longing, pretty solid though. Hunter's Mark, honestly, we had a pretty high level Hunter's Mark. I mean, oops, I removed the wrong thing. All right, let's reset. Aspect of Hades, definitely Heartrend. We have to honor our special, and Curse of Longing, and then either I think Chain Skewer. It has to be Chain Skewer. Chain Skewer did so much for us there. All right, there we go. All right, let's go say goodnight to the house and call it an episode.
Although there are innumerable ways for one to die, our danger-seeking prince has come to know a sizable variety.
I wouldn't call myself a master of the Hades Spear, but I'm definitely getting better. And again, it was surprisingly satisfying to play. Toss out the charge spin, and then spam attack. Felt good. It felt good, and our special just carried us the rest of the way. Thanks, Ares. Thanks, Ares, as always.
Oh, look who it is.
It's me!
Good thing you're basically immortal, huh?
Yeah, it is a good thing. I die a lot in this game, technically.
Hey, if you stay out too long, I'm going to track you down.
I won't mind that, Thanatos.
It's
Find me.
7:48.
Of course it's 7:48. It's always 7:48.
Fight like I'd fight out there.
Oh, well, I was using the spear, so technically yes.
Cerberus lies as ever at the foot of his Lord Master's throne.
Do we give some pets to the good boy? Of course we give some pets to the good boy.
Certainly in order here.
They're always in order. Trying to think if there's anything else I have to say at this point. Honestly, not really. Point is, that anime had a really good start.
Zagreus, you're the most welcome sight I've seen in quite some time.
And fell off pretty hard for me, but...
You're interrupting me during my time at work.
For what it's worth, as far as this season goes...
Each failure brings new opportunities for self-reflection, right, my friend?
It is probably the anime that has left the strongest impression on me. Which is really weird to say, for an anime that I could only watch like 2 or 3 episodes of before I lost interest in. But be that as it may...
Give me the current special.
I guess...
Dust at the halls, dust at the library, dust at the sconces, dust at the doorknobs,
What are sconces?
dust at the chairs.
Dusted the dust, dusted the duster, dusted the soap.
Persephone must be so proud of you.
Thank you, Nyx.
Alright, Kiwi, I don't have much more to say, so I hope you've enjoyed me rambling about this anime. It took an entire episode for me to finish my thoughts, but...
Musical, right?
I'd love to discuss this with you. Are there any shows that you've watched that, like, started really strong and fell off really hard very quickly? Looks like we're onto a bow run. Well,
created you.
Who's next? Maybe Rama? We'll see. With all that said, though, Kiwi, I hope you've enjoyed watching, and if you're awake, I hope this is helping you fall asleep. If you're sleeping, I hope you're sleeping well. I love you, and in the next one, some more Hades fun. See you then, love. Sleep well.